Is Leslie Montgomery, and you are tuned into the LKM Kingdom Living Leslie's Lessons Learned. Let's get started. So, as you know, we have been talking about um, what we've been talking about being authentic. Excuse me. And we're just still talking about. I keep saying, why are we still talking about it? But we're here, and they're not even my guests. They all family. Mike and Alicia is here to talk about their journey with being authentic, and we're just so excited and so excited that Minister Wander is here. Um, I don't know if she'll be able to greet you today or not, but she's here. But oh, let me listen. If you look in your mirror today, the only thing I want you to say is, I am enough. That's all. I am enough because you are. And I want you to say what we normally say: a world, what is it? A world without me is like, I'm saying it wrong, ain't I? Let me see.
A life without me.
A life without me.
Color.
A life, a life without me is like a world without color. I want you to say that with me today. And if you can't say it for yourself, let me say it for you. A life without you is like a world without color. We need you. We need you. And no matter what you're going through, this too will pass. You're not going to always have good days. But in those days, it's learning, you're developing, and then you come out of it, and you have some good days, and then something else will come so that it will make you stronger. So excuse me, everybody. I want to say hello to those that are on: Anna and Michelle and Alfreda and Teresa and Ashley. Thank y'all for being here, and whoever else is on that has not said anything, we're so glad that you're here today. I'm trying to be my peppy self. I am, I promise you. But Wanda, do you want to say anything, or you good? You good? Yeah. She's a little. Her voice is a little. Uh, she can't do too much with her voice right now, but she's here. Thank you for being here. But then we had the Johnsons, and I'm going to ask them to greet you and just tell them a little bit about y'all self.
Okay. All right. Looks like we'll be running the show. Wanda can't talk. You under the what? Come on, Mike. Let's do this. We can put them. Give us
Yeah,
control, Leslie. Let's
You got them.
right,
look. We got our own show today.
Sure do.
right.
Woo, all right. I am Alicia Johnson, the creator of the 1212 community, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to just be invited back one more again, and that's who I am, Mr. Johnson.
And I'm Mike Cullen Johnson, the other half of all of that. And as always, we're always honored to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely glad to be here.
Yeah.
And we understand the weather thing and
We
how
just happy y'all
down
got it.
down
Well, we
south
got
y'all
it
got that
too,
weather, got all the cold and everything. So I know it's a shock to the system.
It's a shock to the system when I
but
look out the door.
you're from up here, right?
I know, and that's what makes me mad. That's why I don't want to come back down there. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this picture, because I'm looking out the door. And I said to my daughter and my son, I said, I hope y'all got a shovel. There's like a shovel. We ain't got no shovel. And nobody's shoveling anything around here. It's just peace be still at the moment. So as we excuse me, I got everything going on at the moment.
Oh, she did give us the show. Okay, so We're gonna talk about. We're gonna change. What you want to change the topic to? We're gonna change the topic.
Yeah, I should be right back.
And Wanda can't. She can't even. She can't even vote against it because she can't talk. Your voice. Can you talk? No.
Can't even protest. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. She can't even
Oh, wow.
protest. So we gonna talk. What you want to talk about?
I don't know.
We gonna change the.
Leslie jumped
we gonna-
on.
She gone. Okay, so the topic is being authentically you. Is that's right? Okay, so well, actually, this is a good topic for us, I guess, because we're in our kitchen, y'all. So if you hear all of the bells and the whistles, it's a whole lot of noise going on right now. But anyway, it's comedy emotion this morning. So authenticity. It is very important to us because for so many years we weren't authentic. We were pretending to be what other people thought we should be. We were pretending to be. He looking like y'all. You were. I
No,
wasn't.
so
No.
we talking about authenticity.
Hold on. Authentic,
Authentic-
authenticity.
Authenticity.
It's okay, Mike. It's okay.
Are we talking about it in marriage? Yeah. We're talking about being authentic in marriage, or
And everything, I guess.
Okay.
Leslie ain't here. We making up the
We're
rules
making
as
it
we go. Somebody check on her. You all right? Ashley, your mama all right? I just want to make sure we're right. Yeah, authenticity. We making up the rules. So I want to talk about authenticity just across the board. I think at this point in my life, I am being it won't let me back in. Lord, we done kicked her out of our own. How that happened, Leslie? It won't let her back in. I don't understand. I don't even know how to do this. I don't even understand what this is. So I guess that means you go get some rest. Leslie, we'll handle it. We got it. Go on.
You can't let her back in. You gotta keep trying.
Wanda, I don't understand what you said. What you said? Look, Wanda go pop. Mike, we gotta have our own show.
Leslie, keep trying. Keep trying.
Okay,
So,
so
there she go.
oh, there she go. How in the heck? You got your own show. That is funny. Honey, we were getting ready to run in a whole nother
Go ahead.
direction.
I was
Go
just gonna ask you, how does authenticity look in your marriage, individually, and then as a married couple? What did that look like for you?
We're actually just finding out. We are, I guess, over the last 5 or 6 years, we have been our most authentic selves. And so it looked like in the beginning, like we were imposters. And what that looks like is that outside, when we would go out, it would look a certain way, because when we started to talk about our marriage problems and the things that we went through, people were like, oh, we never knew. Oh my gosh, we thought y'all were the couple, like people, how they had those couple goals and all of that. And it's like, yeah, we were really, people say fake it till you make it. Well, we were faking it, but we didn't make it. Like we just we were faking it. We were just going in the wrong direction. I was pretending to be something I wasn't. Mike was pretending. Well, I'll let him speak for himself, but it was damaging our children. It was damaging everything, because you're molding minds. These children are your responsibility, and they're confused. They're like, you say one thing in the house and then you go out and they're like, huh, what? And the kids will call you out in a minute. They'll be, Mommy, that's not what you said. Mommy, you don't like her. Mommy, why you talking like that? Mommy, why you acting like it? It's like, stay in a child's place. I'm not talking to you. This is grown folk business. This is that. And it was a mess. It was a mess. That's my side of the story. So
yeah, I mean, it's it's very much the same, because earlier on in our marriage, we had a lot of our closest friends were also like co-workers.
Oh yeah.
And, when you're
And they
dancing,
were faking. They were playing too.
oh
A
yeah,
lot of them were playing too.
when you're when
We
you're
all
when
faking.
you're walking the tightrope of marriage, friendship, and business or work, you know, you want to show up a certain way. So I had like a supervisor manager type role, and my idea of being that was showing up as that. So, whenever we would have functions and go out and things like that, you always wanted to present yourself a certain way. You always wanted to look a certain way or sound a certain way. But at the end of the day, when the lights were off, the cameras were off, and we were behind the scenes, it was me sitting in the living room, with the 6-pack, 12-pack, or whatever,
Or 40.
Drinking, watching sports, and or playing video games, doing all of
Oh, the
the
video
crazy
games.
things.
Oh my gosh.
And so for anyone who was a friend, or I guess the close friends knew because they would be right there with me. But for others who weren't as close, for them to hear that, it would be like, what, oh, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
And he would clean up real nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he would go out and just look real polished and real manicured. And I think that that's the worst part of it, because you're like, for us being in a relationship, it's like we look good, but then the thoughts, that's what people don't really factor in, like that invisible presence. Like it's the things that aren't said, it's the things that aren't, and you like, people like, oh, your husband's so handsome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
he a
is.
piece of work.
He a piece of work, all right. Yeah, he handsome. All the ladies think he handsome. And I'm just it was a mess. We couldn't go anywhere without we would show up good, and then Mike's pan in the room to see who's in here. Mm-hmm. See who's gonna show up in here. Them. Mm-hmm. Well, and then I'm looking at him like, why you look at her like that long? And was I don't even know her, but everything was just, it was awful. There was no downtime. And when you're not even true to yourself, you can't be true to anybody. I wasn't true to my children. I wasn't. That's why it's like the things that are evolving now in our family, it ain't nothing but God. Like, just when I say God is the redeemer of time, any mistakes that you've made, anything that you've done, when you resolve that and you become authentically who God has created you to be, God will honor that. That's why I feel that God is doing the things that God is doing in our lives, because we are being nothing more and nothing less than God has created us to be. So hopefully that answers your question. I know we hijacked your show, Leslie, but
No, thank you. That's good. When I look at you guys and I hear your story, to go from being authentic to authentic. Am I saying it right? It's
inauthentic to
not,
authentic.
yeah, yeah. When I think about it and how the experiences that y'all went to get there, you were talking about how and you go out and everybody thought y'all was all together, and you knew you wasn't. You knew you wasn't. So even with that, you yourself wasn't happy.
Oh yeah.
And we would always try to dress our son up real cute. Like he always, Mike, in the big, he, after a certain age, you can't do that. But he would always have on he was cute, little khakis and the little shirt and the little, and we wanted him to look a certain way and we wanted him to act a certain way. Like he looked the part until he started acting. And we were like, oh my God, people, oh, he's so cute. And that's what you feel good as a parent when your children out there. People are like, oh yeah, oh, it's so, the family's so cute. And then the little dude would start acting up, and it's like, when we couldn't even be mad at him. We couldn't even be mad because he was showing us that you can't dress this up. You cannot dress up the dysfunction. You cannot make me your little puppet. It's not going to happen. And for years, we tried that. And for years, we were blaming them for not falling into our shenanigans. If you would just act right. No, if you want us to act like you want us to act, that's not necessarily right. That's your way. You want us to act your way. That's not necessarily right. And that was very humbling. So when when your family is not falling into line with what you want them to do, you got to check the plan. If everyone is rebellious, everyone is all dysfunctional, then you got to go back and check the foundation, check the source. And now that we're operating authentically, it's like everything has calmed down. Disagreements no longer lead to like calls to 911. Disagreements no longer leave like holes in the wall. Disagreements are just disagreements. We can disagree and still love each other. We can disagree and still move on. But before, we would disagree and, like, I think Posh says this, fight for our limitations. We would fight for our limitations. We would be mad when people wouldn't get in alignment with our craziness.
Yeah, I think the big part of that is first discovering who you were. So we got into marriage, and I can't speak for you, but for a long time I didn't really know who I was. So
I didn't know who you
I
were
was showing
either.
up as my unauthentic self, and I was showing up who I wanted to show up as or look like, and it wasn't necessarily me. But of course, over the years, we've been in marriage for 28 years, and over time, once you start digging on like yourself and finding out like who you really are and what you're here to do, all of those scales kind of fall away, because showing up as anyone other than yourself is more painful, because you start, and I think for me, there was a period where I was kind of looking at some of the stuff that I was doing. I was like, hold up, this ain't really me. When did I start doing this? And I think the longer you spend working on yourself, all of those things that are unauthentic will begin to just fall away. The people that you're hanging out with and spending time with who fall under that old you, or that you that wasn't acting authentic, they fall away. Because they're doing stuff that at some point, and I'm speaking for me, they're still doing stuff that I look at now and realize that that wasn't me. Why was I doing that? Why was I going to this club every Thursday? It was me really just following the crowd and wanting to show up, with my nice suit on and my shoes and my car and
Tell the truth,
the
shame the
money
devil.
to
Let's.
spend at
I
the
might be
bar and
learning
stuff like
something
that.
here. This might take a turn in a minute. I don't know. I might learn something I didn't know.
But I think that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Really learning to be yourself. When you start digging on like who you really are, all that other stuff falls away. And I think definitely with me, that was the case.
Mm-hmm. And I know with it's funny because before you learn to be who you really are, you're afraid of being who you really are. And what I mean by this is that, especially in a relationship, I'm grateful that God allowed both of us to grow within the same relative time frame. And so we were both able to make the adjustments and things. There was some lag time in between, but for the most part, we grew at the same time. And what I realized is that growth and that freedom allows you to age gracefully. It allows you to make mistakes more freely. It allows you to live your full life without trying to hide things. Because when we were living inauthentically, I was always trying to look a certain way because I'm like, oh, it looks like he likes these type of people, so let me try to do this. Or it looks like, or he's that type of person or what. And I can't be that person. Like right now, I can age gracefully. Like I used to, like my gray doesn't bother me anymore. My natural hair doesn't. Like I've cut my hair and let it grow back a few times now, but when I did my first big chop, he was right there next to me. It was just weird because that was a part of me that I would never want to expose when I was inauthentic, because I was trying to be who I thought he wanted to be. Like some of the people that I knew that he had dated and stuff before, I would never fit that bill. It's like he had a certain type. I could never be that person. I don't care how much I tried, I would never look like that. I don't care how much I tried, I would never have hair like that. I don't care how much I tried, I would never be that person. So I'm like, I gotta be who I am and just roll with that. Gray hair, my little chin hair, all of that stuff. It's like I'll be picking my, got my tweezers. I have absolutely no shame now in being who I am, because he's being who he is. Like his authenticity, we play off of each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think definitely over time, it takes time. I mean, if you look at like marriages today, relationships or whatever, I mean, how many relationships are built on authentic? What's the word?
Oh man,
I can say authentic.
Authenticity. I'm gonna work with them, y'all. Authenticity. This is what it is. Authenticity.
Yeah. Hey,
We're being
it's a
authentic.
difficult word for me. But anyway,
It is a tongue twister.
yeah. But how many relationships are built in that state where we're going out, we're putting on like this veil to attract someone that we want, and it's like you get into marriage 5 or 10 years later, and that person starts to come outside of that. It's like, oh,
Start to morph.
that's not who I married.
Wait a minute, who you? Who
And
you, Papa?
that's why a lot of relationships are in trouble, because it's like, we start to take off those costumes that we've had on for so long, and it's like that person looks totally different. And we had that period as well. But I think the great thing is we stood there and fought. And I think the biggest thing, like I said before, is we worked on ourselves and really just started to take the axe at those things in our lives that were just causing so much pain. Not as necessarily as a couple, but like in our lives. And me, I've talked about it on this show many times before. My dad, not knowing my dad. So I knew enough to really dig at that. Alicia had things as well that she was working on. And then, we could come back together and show up as like who we are. And it's painful, don't get me wrong, but
in
I
the
think
beginning,
when you're able to do that, when you're able to take off all of those costumes that you worn for so many years, show up as who you are in a marriage or relationship, the sky's the limit, because at that point you're comfortable. So I think that's it for us. That's how we've got to this point, and we've continued to just show up and be ourselves. We have problems and we have arguments and things like that. That doesn't go away. But at the same time, when we have things that come up, we're able to talk through it, because we're not going up with those costumes.
You
She
matured.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. I remember my husband telling me, "Could you go back to the person I met and married?" In my mind, I was like, I thought I was that, you know. And when you were saying that, I thought about that. We do have layers to take off, and it's not always easy, and being authentic. Why are you laughing, Alicia?
Somebody said no man start itching after a while. They showed too. He was like, let me
yeah,
take this.
yeah,
He was like, let me take this.
yeah. And then the other thing, you got to take it off slow. Some people just be ripping them
Ripping
off
it
all
off.
at one time. Yeah,
You
you
got,
got to take it
you
off
got to feel
slow.
that joke. That's funny. Oh, who's that? Dana Jenkins, honey, you my new best friend. That was hilarious. Yeah, don't bats be itching. Oh my gosh. And that's the thing. And like over time you meet people and you don't know how life is going to turn out until you live enough not life to know. And the things that a lot of times you might like just intuitively sense, you don't know if that's going to happen or not until enough time passes. But now that enough time has passed, I realized that all of those inclinations that heaven was giving me during that time, even before I was seeking God for all God was worth, God was still, giving me little hints. And a lot of those relationships that I watched and envied in some cases, and God was like, y'all, you don't need to envy that. You don't need to envy that. You keep moving and do it. Because that was the thing when God pulled us away and God said, you just work on your marriage in the way that I tell you to work on your marriage. Because when I started to break down and I would share, like I was like, you need to share this, you need to let people know. And I started little by little. And the most interesting thing is that people were telling me, oh, girl, I would just take that to my grave. And God was like, you listen to that if you want to, it's going to put you in your grave. Like, keep moving. Like, if you don't tell it, it's going to put you in your grave. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that. So I kept listening to God. And so in that, God just kept revealing things to me about other people's relationships. And I was like, oh my gosh. And God would reveal stuff to me. And over the course of time, I had no confirmation. Like, it was just God saying this and this and this. And I didn't know if I was right or wrong. I couldn't tell if I was just being judgmental or if God was telling me something. And it was one marriage that I really admired. Like, oh my God, they are the quintessential couple. And da 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 da. And this was like years. And God wouldn't let me, God knew me. God wouldn't let me know this early enough because me and my big mouth, I would have been like, you think you got everything. You think. And so God wouldn't let me. But then it was just like out of the blue, like 30 something years later, Mike confirmed everything for me. He said, remember such and such? I said, why are you telling me this right now? Because it just shattered everything. And I was like, I knew it though. I knew it. And it was just so funny that all this time I'm looking at other people, the same way people were looking at us, thinking that they got it all together. But the saddest part is that if these people don't know, and they're still living the lie, thinking that they had what they thought they had, but they really didn't. And that's why I'm so grateful for our relationship, because those lies make you sick. And I know a lot of people in these relationships that have like, and see, you know how we do our spiritual nutrition, and there's a spiritual component for every illness. And in some cases, God has given me the insider knowledge to know what illnesses they have. And I'm looking it up, and it is a direct correlation to the lie that is being hidden. And I'm like, wow.
That's good.
So I'm so grateful that God has allowed us in our relationship to be truthful and to get all of them skeletons out of the closet into, because I don't want to carry any illness, because trouble will come. I'm not saying, you're not gonna have things, but I want, if I ever, get anything or what, I want it to come from the purest route possible. Oh, this just comes with just age, or this just comes with not some deep rooted unresolved
Right.
anger or sin or lie that could have been handled years ago.
Years ago.
But the worst part is when you don't know you being lied to. And that was the most damaging part for me. And that's why God didn't let me know earlier on, because I would have told it all. I would have ruined some families and everything, because I was angry. I would have been like, you thought you, and I. So God, in God's infinite wisdom, God does everything in the way that it needs to be. And now I wouldn't dare do
Right.
anything, or anything harmful. That was just for my edification. So God helped me to know you were right on track. you
Mhm.
were you were right, but I couldn't let you know all of that, because that knowledge at the time would have done more harm than good. But I'm in a place now where I don't want to bring hurt, harm, or danger to
Yeah,
anybody.
you have to let people take, if we're
It's
talking
their own
about,
journey. Yeah.
them discovering their authentic selves themselves,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
you don't want to try to pull someone else's coat off,
Mm-hmm.
because that can probably do more harm than good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I would have
but
messed some
yeah,
stuff up. I would have.
And that's not even our journey to
Mm-mm.
destroy somebody else's journey. You know.
well, I think by nature, and that's, you know, and I can, again, I'm speaking for myself, but that's one of the problems or challenges that I've had, for so long. And we all do it where, we'll see someone living or what we think is an unauthentic life. And we judge and, have all these ideas of, who they should be, but it's not for us. It's not for us to decide, judge, or interfere with, because, that comes at their own time. And you know, it has taken me, and I'm still working with that, but it's taken me a while to realize that um, you can't you can't try to force someone else's um, coat of or mask off, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It may not be itching yet. Their mask may not be itching. They may love it. Sometimes you just see people with. I mean, Wanda, you do hair. I could. I'm not a wig person, because I just can't have like glue stuff like stuck to. I'm just. Oh, I'll be scratching and all of that. But some people, they can wear them things like a champ. They be like, I'm like, oh my goodness. So it's not bothering them. I personally know my limitations. I had braids one time, and I was like, and I just went too far, and they were like Rapunzel. And so I had to wake Mike up. Mike, you're laying on my hair. Can you get off my? I couldn't even turn over. So I was like, this is not for me. But some people can accommodate the pain or the discomfort more than others. And that is not for me to determine, how much you can accommodate. And that's okay. It's like my journey is my journey, and your journey is your journey. And that's what a lot of our friends and people during that time, they fell away, not necessarily because of what we did. They were afraid of how can I put it, our authenticity, our truth. The truth shines light on stuff. And so it's like, oh, if they starting to tell they stuff now, because I had friends that had dirt over me. And it was that dirt that was keeping our relationship solid. So when you start to tell your own dirt, they ain't got nothing over you. And so I was like, yeah, I told Mike everything. What? Everything? Everything. 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 I wrote it down too. I put it in right now. Everything. Oh my God, girl, like you crazy. And now they're scared because they don't have that dirt over me. So now we're off balance. And now they're angry with me. So it was so interesting because when we both had dirt on each other, honey, we were buddies. Everybody because you know that it's something. But then when that balance is off, now you become the enemy. I was like,
Yeah,
God, it was
that's
such a revelation.
that's interesting that you said that. And the thing of it is that they're afraid that they'll be exposed.
That's exactly what it was. I
Yeah.
got put out of somebody's house like that one time because they knew, seriously, they knew that I had told the truth. I was working on my marriage and everything, and that person was afraid that I was gonna start I was gonna start telling on everybody. But I knew nothing. I knew nothing. It was their fear that, and I couldn't understand what was going on, but it wasn't until years later that that revelation came. It wasn't about me, it was about the sin in them. It wasn't about me. They directed it at me because I represented what they should have been doing. I represented what they were going to have to go through. I was scaring them. Because when I told the truth, Mike and our relationship hit the rocks.
It's that's what I was getting ready to say. When you was that a part of well, it was a part of truth when you that was a hard thing for you to write a letter, give
Mhm.
it to him, you know, and
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 run. I left the house that day. I gave the letter. I
Yeah.
slid across there and I left. I was gone.
You take that coat off, and you're not expecting it. All hell is going to break loose. And it takes a while to. I mean, for someone to get used to
Let's
you.
qualify. Wow, 10 whole years. 10
Yeah, it
whole years.
takes it
10
takes a
years.
while.
10 years. 10, 10 years. Yes, I still have healing to do. It took 10 years.
Yeah.
And we would do it all again. We would do it all because
Well, I don't know about that. You say
I,
we do it all again.
no, I
We,
mean, no, to see the results that are, I mean, I would make some tweaks and stuff, but when I say do it all again, I mean it in the way that there is absolutely no journey that you can take that's going to trip God up. There are people out here who have committed like felonies and murder and all of these things, and God has even used that. You decide what stuff you want to give God, and that's the thing that God taught me. It's like when you start to see the results of what's happening in your life, and you want to blame God, and it's like, well, God's like, all things do work together for good. But if you take like cow dung and all of this stuff and put it together, you're gonna get, the most you're gonna get is fertilizer. You're gonna get fertilizer. But it's going to work together for the good because it's going to help grow crops. It's going to help do a lot of things. But God is like, if you want better results or different results, give heaven better stuff. So if you want to give God uh, a murder, theft, robbery, disrespecting your family, doing all of these things, God's like, we can work with this, but you're not going to get the results of somebody who sold love and who worked every day and who helped their neighbor and did all of these things. Their stuff is going to work together for their good, and your stuff is going to work together for your good. So if you want a better outcome, give heaven better stuff. And that's what Mike and I had to realize. We were getting what we put in. We were getting out what we put in. I would cut my buttons off of Mike's shirt. It was awful. It was ridiculous. And the tire blew out on my car, on my minivan. And I was so angry. I was like, God, this is ridiculous. And I'm thinking about other people that have other things going on, but you're doing this for this person. You're doing this for this person. God said this morning, you gave me an argument. You were fussing at your kids on the way to school. You were doing all of this. What I did for you was a result of what you gave me, and I spared your life. The tire, when the tow truck driver came, the guy said, I have seen this happen over and over again, and at the speed you were going and the way this blew out and where you were on 50, your van should have flipped over into the ditch. God says, see, I used what you gave me, and I gave you the best of what heaven could give you, and I spared your life. Are you not happy with that? Are you not pleased with that? I was like, you sure right. You sure right. But see, I'm looking at, well, wow, this person has this kind of car, and this, I'm driving an old minivan. Da, 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 da. And God was like, they made different choices. So stop trying to compare your outcome to others that put in different things.
Yeah, that, and it's something to think about. We, we those things happen, and like you said, we're like, why is this happening? What is going on? And we do look at other people and say, that's not happening to them, and this should be happening to them. Things like that. And yeah, we have to show up as ourselves. And does that mean work has to be done? Yes, work has to be done because you're coming from it's like a transitioning from your old way to your new way. And in that transitions, there's some bumps along the way. It's not like smooth sailing. And in those bumps, you still scratch your head and say, why? Why am I going through this? You know, it's that,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to understand that, like you said, it works out for our good, but we got to want our good.
Mm-hmm.
We got
And
to
don't
want.
be and don't be upset. Um, and this is the thing, like for us right now, don't be upset with us when good things start happening to us. This is why I'm excited for everybody. I'm like, if you want to kick a can down the street and that is your sport, I'm gonna cheer you along all the way down the street. I don't want to kick a can. I want to ride in a car. But if that's what you want to do, then that is what you want to do. And if you win, and I don't understand all of the rules and I don't understand all of that, but just the fact that you happy, I'm happy. Because everybody has a different journey. And at this point in time, when things happen in my life, I'm shouting it to the rooftops. I'm telling everybody, oh my gosh, this happened. This is, and if you're excited for me or if you're envious of me, that is not my concern. That is not my concern. That used to trip us up so much before because I wanted everybody to be happy for us. And when I was sad, I wanted everybody to be sad. When my world was crashing, I wanted everybody else's world to crash. And when I was happy, I wanted everybody else to be happy. Just so out of balance. Just not realizing that other people have issues too. Other people have, scenarios too. And let everybody live the life in the way that they need to live it. But you also have to be mindful of the timing of everything because we're all at different stages in life. What I needed in my teens, I no longer need in my 50s. What I needed in my 20s, I no longer didn't need in my 40s. But you have to be in such alignment with your life that you receive what heaven is providing you at the time that you need it, because you're going to need different things at different times. And I've witnessed this over the years. And now that we're getting older, I'm like, thank you, God, because I was falling into this trap. And I was like, I ain't falling into this trap anymore. I need community. I need friends in my life. I need people that gonna check up on me. I need people that go, to be excited and I need support. Okay. And there's so many people when we were in our like 20s and 30s and like, I don't want nobody up in my house. I don't want nobody knowing what I got. I don't want nobody doing this. I don't want nobody, I'm a picking friends. Watch your haters do this, do that. And now you in your 50s and your 60s, and now it's team solo. And now you wonder, ain't nobody showing up for me. Ain't nobody there for me. No, because when you were supposed to be nurturing those relationships in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you don't pushed everybody away. And now you mad. because ain't nobody showing up for you. And that is a very sad place to be. So you have to be mindful of what stage you are in your life. And this is why I'm constantly teaching forgiveness. This is my passion. I'm like, look, get them friendships together, get them relations. Leslie knows I'm like, get that, heal that family, go apologize, go do what you need to do, because there is nothing worse when you start to witness people getting older in life and they have no one. We witnessed this. We know someone personally who like kind of did this and pushed everybody away. It was all about work. It was all about, having these things and doing all of this. And now when everything is stripped away, you in a little room by yourself because you've pushed away all of the friends, pushed away all, and people are having to find you and find out where you are. And then it's like you have to sit back and think, why are you in this position? Because you pushed everybody away. Being authentic means that you got to be realistic about what your expectations are in life. See, I had to become realistic about being authentic. See, I like people. I really do. People get on my nerves, but I can still love you. People can, I'll laugh at you. I'll be mad with you, and then I'll still go with you. I'll go to dinner with you, but you're gonna know how I feel because I'm going to continue to be who I am, regardless. This is why a lot of people, they have a love-hate relationship with me. It's like they want the truth, but then they don't want the truth, but then they know it's just weird. But I'm gonna be there for you because I value community. I value friendships. I value, because I don't want to be here some 95, 100, me and my little cats, and I hope somebody come. It may not be you. You may be my age. You may be my age, so you can't check on me. But your child remembers the relationship. Oh, that's mama's whatever. I remember her from. Let me go check on Miss Johnson. Let me go see how she doing. Oh my goodness. I remember back in the day, oh, she was a little whippersnapper. She was fun. Let me go check on her. Because I want those connections to permeate throughout my life until my last day here. I personally, when I started to be authentic, I had to be real about that. Because Mike and I, we had this conversation. I'm like, Mike, I want a big house or a land, and I want all of these, how everybody like me, my sister, my friends, whoever wants a little piece or whatever, we can all live there together. We can share a pool or something in the background, or a little, I don't know, a pool at that age, but something we can walk the little trails, and I want to be in that community. And see, Mike, I think he's coming around this way. Mike, I just want to be by. I just want my little house. I want to be by myself. I don't want nobody bothering me. I say, you can go on with that because I community. I ain't gonna be out there in the woods with you in a little tiny house. And I need some emergency assistance, and your old self can't carry me. Yeah, I need somebody to find me.
My grandfather was really mean. And we all stopped going around seeing him because he was getting older. He was just getting contrary.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighbor saw me in the store and was like, hey, and went on by myself. He's like, Leslie, I need to talk to you. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I need you to go by and check on your grandfather. I was like, no can do. And he was like, Leslie, I need you to go check on your grandfather. And I said, okay, just because you're asking me. So I end up actually moving in and taking care of him until, he
Mm,
passed away.
mm.
But he was, look, the children the ball come up on his yard. He was out there fussing and cussing. The neighbors, he would cuss them out. And everybody was just like you said, leaving him to himself. So when I went there and saw the conditions and all, it wasn't like it was horrible, but he needed help. And but when that neighbor said that, I was like, no can do. I ain't going over there. But nobody was coming to see him. So
Well, I just said I apologize. Now y'all go check on me, girl. I'm with you. I ain't that angry at nobody because my mama, she like, look. I'm making peace because my daddy was like that, and so he didn't want, his independence, and then at the end things worked out so that he was up here. But when he was getting ready to transition, he was like, "Thank y'all." So he didn't have to transition by himself. And my mama sitting up here. My mama's a quick study. Mama like, look, I love all my children. I love them all. I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna be good. I'm going to just rotate from house to house. I don't want to be by myself. Because at one point she was like that, where she wanted to have her apartment. She said, she gave up that apartment. She's like, I'm okay. I am not that independent. I am okay. I'm good. I need people in my life.
Yeah.
And these are decisions you need to make earlier than later. So be truly real with yourself about what you need. All these people out here like, I'm a boss, I'm a this, I'm doing all of, honey, you one accidental way from your whole life changing. We've seen
Yeah.
it many
One
times.
thing you have to do is look out at in California or
Oh
LA right
yeah,
now. I
right.
mean, that's serious. I mean, then also, and I was reminded this morning about what happened in North Carolina with the
Mm-hmm.
flooding and stuff. But it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Just imagine, being by yourself and having to deal with that. So
Mm-hmm.
people are finding out in real time that having community, having family around
It's
is
important.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have to deal with like the loss of everything
Right.
on your own, how do you come back from that?
And this
So
is why, like, for us, like, community, for me, is everything. There is nothing like, if hypothetically something like that happened to us and we were totally wiped out, I am not too proud. I'd be like, Leslie, Ashley, y'all got some space in your basement, or I'd be like, Frida will, oh, God bless her. Frida will always, you know what? As long as Frida is on this, Mike, we ain't got
You don't
nothing to
have to
worry.
worry about nothing. She
But
is your
that's
cheerleader. I promise you.
and it doesn't have to be like family, friend. It just good relationships. I can call my auntie, my sister, and they can call me. So it's not one sided. Somebody don't even, you explain it when you get here, girl. I need, like my mama. My mama called. She said, I'm gonna need to move in with y'all. We like, "Hey, okay, mom, when you coming?" She said, "I'll be there by 5." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And it wasn't no like, "Okay, mom, give us some time." Honey, we read upstairs. I called off the rest of the day. We went upstairs. We tried to, get the room and everything together. But that's what relationship does for you. But so many people miss it. We had a conversation last night. People miss it because of money.
Money.
A lot of times people don't want to do things because it's not going to be a cost effective move, or it's not gonna be, come on, stay with us. We'll figure it out. Well, how much is this gonna cost me? I don't know. I mean, it was so funny when my mother moved in. We weren't thinking about anything else. And honey, we got a water. We ain't never had a water bill this high before, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And it was like everybody was home, and that water bill was like $500-$600, and they sent the paperwork with it saying you might have a leak or something like that. But you don't think about, but the people that lead with the money, people that lead with, oh, we got to calculate this, those the people you don't want in your life. You want people in your life that we're going to figure it out when we get there. Honey, we saw that bill. We were like, we'll figure it out. I know one thing, we ain't going to have this water turned off, but we going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So stop, when you're authentic, you've got to identify the things that really mean something to you. Like money has a lower ranking for me authentically. We'll figure the money out. But there's some people that authentically are really focused on that. So be who you are. I'm not saying don't be that person, but if you are that person, it's going to work in your favor. If you're not that person, it's going to work it to your detriment.
Right.
So I need community. I'm just letting everybody know. All y'all, tag you in. All y'all in my community. You cross my path, you in my community.
Yeah. Excuse me. We already know we cousins.
We all cousins. We all cousins. We act, we fuss, we laugh. I mean, and that's the thing about, and that's first, well, let's put it this way. You want to be in a community of healed, people who are as healed as much as they can be. You don't want to be in a community of broken people because that's going to be more damaging than anything. Because I've been in some communities where the community is more damaged than I was. I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I leaving this more angry than I came in? Why am I more confused than when I got here? Community should build you up. It should edify you. It
Yeah,
should encourage you. It should it should be beneficial to everyone. Everyone in community should get whatever they need from it.
yeah,
And
and
everyone's needs should not be the same. See, if everybody is in community and everybody wants money, then you're in the wrong community. If you're in community, I just need laughter. Yeah, you can get that. You can get that here too. Oh, I just need connection. Oh, yeah, you can get that here too. Oh, I need this. But if everybody is chasing after the same thing in community, then everybody gonna lose.
yeah,
It's not gonna be enough.
yeah, and also in community, you have to be truthful,
Yeah.
with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, at least you're gonna be truthful. Oh, okay, that's what you want to do. That's how you want to live. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
I know. That's what you
We're
know
coming
what?
back,
We coming
Wanda.
back. You know what, Wanda? We coming back just to see you, and you gonna do my hair too. Cause I've been watching you, them videos you've been posting. I'm gonna let it grow out some more. So yeah, we coming back to what the Bay Area, is that what it's called? We coming back. Yeah, cause we didn't know what our schedule was gonna be. And I was like, I don't want to get anybody because I'm like flaky like that. So I ain't want to say we were gonna be somewhere and then we weren't gonna be there. So I said, let's keep our schedule loose. But when we come back, you at the top of the list.
Definitely.
We definitely, yes. I'm excited because we
Mhm.
traveling this year. Y'all gonna it's gonna be like, where's Waldo? I'm serious. We're gonna be all over the place.
Mike, do you have any last words?
No, she don't say it at all.
Oh,
She
oh,
don't say it at all.
oh,
No,
we get
I don't. Honestly, I don't have any last words. I love the conversation. Um, and like Alicia was saying, it is so important. So when I saw the topic, I was like, well, what are we going to talk about? But as we started to talk, I just realized that that has been a big part of our lives. From getting married. I mean, well, actually, before that, for me, when you're born, you're like fully authentic, and then over the years, as you become older, you start to put on these different parts and pieces that really aren't you, and
Yeah,
then you get to the point where you're kind of forced to take them off, or you can leave them on if you want and deal with the pain that comes with that. But yeah, this conversation has been great. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for inviting us.
yeah.
I hope we
Well,
acted right and we get invited back again. Thank you.
you'll be back. You guys are the trailblazers of Leslie's lessons learned. So you'll definitely be back. Yeah, thank you for just keep talking and not depending on me to talk much. But yeah, this was good. And this story, they have so much to this story that it's just amazing. The shift and all that they have made and how they turn around. And now they're a testimony to others. They're working in ministry. Mike's, I don't know if he started it back yet, Mrs. Messes and Miracles.
Yeah, it's always ongoing, but we just have to start, actually putting stuff out. Because I'll be the first to admit. I mean, we don't got it all together. We're still learning
Speak for
as we
yourself,
go.
sir.
We're still learning as we go along. I'm speaking for both of us. We we still have stuff that we work through, and I think the beauty of that now is that we're in a place where regardless of what's going on, we can still share it. We can
Yeah.
still share the bumps, the bruises, and things that are going on in our lives, and we feel comfortable with sharing, because we are authentic now,
Right.
and it's not that we're trying to hide stuff.
Oh, that was we're gonna close. I know we're over time, but the funny thing is when we first started sharing, like in the very beginning, I've been doing this for a minute, just like in my community and stuff. And Mike, honey, he be hitting me under the table and like, don't, like, and I remember that what we did. It was so funny, and I slid out of the chair. And I was, oh, he was hot with me. But that's who I am. If something is funny or whatever, I'm just, and he's like, you don't have to act all like that. You
Yeah.
know,
Right?
now,
Alicia will get extra. Oh, Lord.
okay, so thank you for being
Alicia,
here on Leslie's Lessons Learned. And we will see y'all next time. Grab your mirrors,
Oh,
look at yourself
grab
in
your mirrors.
the mirror. We done.
Alicia's authentic self will be all over the place on the stage, standing up, laughing, and I'm like, Lord.
But
So,
you know, mind. Okay.
but
Anyway, but
but you
thank you,
know
Leslie,
what?
for
When
having
I go back and I'm listening to the recordings, and I'm like, Alicia is so funny. Alicia be laughing and cracking up all by herself,
me.
and then I gotta laugh because it's like she is too funny.
That's what he be like. He's like, you don't need, you realize ain't nobody laughing with you. I didn't like nobody. I mean, it was funny to me.
Alicia would, I mean, she is laughing all the time about past stuff and, just
Oh,
how they changed. And the important part of that is that they did change. Is no more cutting the buttons off and cutting the cap, the authentic caps back off. And
It's crazy. She wasn't even telling me. She didn't even tell me that. I learned about that. I think we were doing a talk one day. She told me. That's where all that
that's
happened.
what happened. I said, "Oh yeah, I would watch him every morning. Because he be getting up and he be spraying his cologne, smelling good, and then he like button his shirt up, and then he get to the sleep.
I was blaming it on
The
the dry
cleaners.
cleaner. I was like, messing up my shirt. All these shirts messing up my. But yeah, it's all good. It's part of the process. So to answer your question, the whole Mrs. and Miracles thing, we definitely will start that. I was sharing with her that it'll be good to kind of share like our daily like journey, because as it is like today, we're working like we work side by side. She has her job, I have my job, and we're both at home.
Hmm.
And you have to see the setup to really appreciate it. But it's like her desk is right here, my desk is right here.
But this is the power of the journaling that we do, y'all. Now, this journaling that we do in this community, I journaled this. I journaled this years ago that we would be home together every day, having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I've been Joe Brown. Home every day, side by. I was like, oh, I gotta tweak that. So journaling, the journaling that honey, it is powerful. It is so powerful that it's done tripped me up. I'm like, I gotta go.
you got to change some things.
It was too good. I journaled too good. I journaled too much into existence. I said, oh my
So
gosh.
I'm thinking we will, maybe do stuff kind of centered around that, kind of showing that process. Maybe talking about how things used to be and stuff we worked through and where we are today, right here in the present. Because it it's remarkable, and it has taken like us really becoming our authentic selves to get to that point. So
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Wanda. Feel better. Go rest.
Yeah. So if you have not hit the like sign, shared or subscribe, please do so before you leave. And thank you for everyone that has been here. I don't have anything in the chat really. Last thing I have is everybody saying pretty much good morning.
Oh
But
no, you got kicked out, baby. It's a lot of stuff in this chat.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. So
yeah.
I'll have to go back and look. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Wanda, for showing up. And um,
And get
oh,
your voice back. Get your voice back. Look at God. God just worked that because I was real chatty this morning. I obviously had a lot to say, and God said, "You know what, baby? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take Leslie and Wanda out the game, and you will."
I didn't even make any coffee this morning.
I ain't even
yeah,
make. He ain't make no
I
coffee,
didn't
so
make
when
no
I get
coffee.
my coffee, it's gonna be
She woke up
on.
like this
I
morning.
woke up like this morning. I woke up with a song in my heart. I woke up excited, and I'm not an early morning person. That's the part that's
I
tricky.
know.
Changes are going over here in the Johnson household. All right, love you,
Too
lady.
funny. Love you guys, and thank you so much for being here. Um, Tuesday, not Tuesday, what's that? Thursday. I have Miss Judy Amber's going to be with us. She's had some aneurysms and things like that, and she's going to talk about how she came through and came over.
Mm.
So that'll be Thursday. And then we'll be back here on Sunday. So we look forward to seeing you and have a great rest of your day. See you later.
Bye.